Marco? Oh, hey, what's up?
Dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I just got this new metal detector from Green Rex, and it's gonna help me find the missing bolts in my race car. It's got a couple missing.
Yeah, looks like you got a lot of missing bolts on that. All right, man, well, I'm gonna leave you to it. I got this cell guy got to go work on over here. You have fun with that, all right?
All right, man, that's cool. I'll catch you later. I'm obviously gonna be here a while. All right, have fun.
Hope you find every bolt you're missing in that car. Rice burners. All right, guys, this episode is partially sponsored by Green Rex. They have some of the most affordable metal detectors. You can find them right on Amazon. They are under $150. If you guys happen to have a car collection like me, it is not a bad idea to get one of these just in case you do actually get some missing bolts, and it'll help you obviously find them. So yeah, check them out. They're on Amazon. Check them out. Colbert, Speedokote Finish Network. All right, guys, so today we're going to show you guys how to do a very small blend on your front bumper or back bumper, whatever bumper you're working on, or panel, whatever, doesn't even matter, doesn't have to be a bumper. How to do a real small blend and cut your clear coat right in the middle of the panel and get a, pretty clean job. Blends are always going to be blends. They're always going to fail. They might fail after 7 years, they might fail after 5 years, they might fail after 10 years. At some point, unless you're using like the best of the best of the best clear coat that just has amazing whatever capabilities, usually it's always going to fail. A lot of y'all saw my YouTube short where I talked about the difference between spray paint. How this happened is I actually backed into this car with one of my 3 remaining Hyundai Genesises. I had 4 as of last year. I sold one of them. I still got 3 though. Backed into it with Dong Yang, which I sprayed with the Speedokote SMR 42. This is the damage to my Rust-Oleum spray paint job. And let me get back over here in a second. Dong Yang, definitely a fan favorite. But anyways, this is the damage to Dong Yang. You guys see any? Because I backed into it right there. You see anything? Nope, don't see a darn thing. Good old SMR 42 always does the trick. So yeah, no damage. Other than I gotta fix some crinkled up headlights, but they look cool standing like 5 feet away. I made this YouTube short saying, hey guys, this is the difference between spray paint and real automotive paint. It does make a difference. Now, this car, we did the Rust-Oleum spray paint, and then we did the SMR 1150, another fan favorite clear coat stuff. Even with the price increases over the pandemic, still was only like 75 or 80 bucks a kit. And it, this is what it looks like. After a whole year sitting in the sun, everybody swore that this clear shrunk back and looked terrible and all this other stuff. I mean, it did dull out a tiny bit on the hood, but that's nothing you couldn't, wet sand and buff out. But this stuff, for only 2 coats of clear, this stuff held an incredible amount of gloss. And it is dirty, by the way. Same paint, same clear coat, but we are going to do a blend. So we're going to just kind of probably clear up in here, and then we're going to stop our clear coat probably somewhere right. We might try and tape that line right there, foam tape that. We'll take the clear coat to right here and just kind of burn it in right there. And see how we can get it looking. Just kind of like a quick touch-up job. This car is sold. I sold it to a buddy of mine. He wanted to sell a GTS 6-speed. As you guys already know, it's really hard to find those. We're just trying to get it good enough to where, you know, it doesn't look ugly. So that's all. Anyways, I will catch you guys on the prep side. All right, guys, so we're starting out with the prep. Now, depending on the damage that you have to your panel will really determine which grit you start out at. We're starting out at 180 because we had a lot of chipping, paint, and feathering we had to do and really kind of get that paint, you know, sanded down a good bit. Now we're going with the 320 and we are refining our 180 grit scratch. It's a little bit wavy. I mean, you could go and grab a filler primer from Speedokote, the SS2790G, or you could grab the 1K, you know, filler primer, put a little spot primer over it, go ahead, you know, get it like really, really flat. But this was like a 1 hour to 2 hour repair, and if we would have done that, it would have extended it to about a 2.5 to 3 hour repair. So we just said, you know what? We're just going to hit it with a little bit of self-etch. We're scuffing our edges now. So your blend, you want to scuff with a gray scotch pad. And then your major repair area, you're going to scuff with a red. We're taping it up pretty quick, kind of like the mobile auto body style way. Just kind of slapping the paper on there, just kind of getting things moving. We got some good lighting set up, and we're pretty much ready to go. All we got to do is clean now. We got the Speedokote wax and grease remover. Super cheap product, lasts a long time. A gallon goes a good while. Now we're putting on our self-etch primer, okay? Now this is just the aerosol version from Speedokote. Dries really quick. We're just giving it kind of a force dry with some air. Now we're going to the spray. Now I was kind of dusting on the first coat a little bit just to see if there was any reactions or see if, you know, make sure the primer didn't react with the Rust-Oleum. You never know when you're mixing, you know, paint that is meant for a lawn chair or a tractor and mixing it with professional automotive products. You just never know what can happen. So now we're just kind of blending that paint out a little bit into the rest of the corner of that bumper, giving it a little bit of an air dry. Now we're putting on the paint a little thicker over the repair area. This Rust-Oleum is a paint and primer in one, so you can put it on kind of thick and kind of bury some imperfections. And that's kind of what we did. The paint, first coat didn't sell too good, so we whacked on a second coat pretty quick, and that kind of filled in some stuff. So now we're mixing up the SMR 1150 fan favorite clear coat. We got the black Spider, Mark 1 black Spider. This is my brand of spray guns. If you guys want it, I'll have a link in the description, how you guys can buy it, you know, whatever. We're putting on the first coat. We're just kind of like dusting the first coat on. We're not going crazy. We're just trying to get a full seal over the Rust-Oleum, you know, spray paint, tractor paint, whatever you want to call it. And then the second coat, we're going to kind of hammer it on a little wetter. As you guys can see, there is some dirt and dust in the first coat. Don't worry about that, okay? When you do your second coat, if you put it on thick and wet enough, it will bury some of those imperfections. So if you guys get little dust nibbies and stuff like that in your first coat, don't freak out. Don't start piling on the clear the first coat. Relax, do a second coat. If you don't like the way the second coat looks and there's still some imperfections, put on a third coat. You will continue to bury and bury and bury those imperfections. Now comes the critical part of the job. So we're removing our foam tape. Shout out to Brian from Paint Society. He is actually the one I actually learned this method from, just kind of putting foam tape on your blend edge. I watched him do this about, I don't know, like a year or two ago, and something I recently decided to try. Now we're spraying our blender just very kind of like light over that edge. You never want to get a run in your clear coat blend. If you do, it's game over. You will not be able to fix it, I promise you. Because the minute you start wet sanding really hard and digging on that edge, you're done. So these are the final results. Everything came out really clean and good. You know, not a perfect job, you know, but just like a cheap little quick Dumbo job. You know, it looks good. The clear coat blend is basically almost invisible. I can't really see it, and it's not really picking up in my camera. So very happy with this job. Obviously, you know, got a little bit of trash in it, whatever. You know, but overall, just for, like I said, for a really quick Dumbo job, I am super, super happy. Voila. There you guys have it. Corner bumper repair. The main reason why I did this video is to show you guys you don't have to repaint your whole bumper if you have a problem. If you got a little oopsie on this side of your bumper, but the rest of it is perfectly fine, which, other than the fact that this was a cheap paint job and we just didn't really care when we were painting it, we were just trying to prove a point that you could spray paint your car and still make it look like a actual automotive paint job by putting Speedokote clear over top of it. Other than the imperfections the car already had, you know, this looks phenomenal. There was no wet sanding, no polishing. This is what you would consider a polish-free blend. Now, because the rest of this paint has been sitting out in the sun for a year or two now, I think it's been sitting outside the shop for a year. I wanted to just let it bake out in the sun for like a year, because everybody says the SMR, like, oh yeah, that clear coat, yeah, horrible results. Yeah, that stuff shrinks back like crazy. Doesn't hold its gloss, terrible stuff. I'm like, okay. I'm like, look, some people may have had that result. We're going to let this thing bake out in the sun for a year, and we're going to see if this stuff really does lose its gloss. And I will say, you know, it holds probably 99 to 98% of its gloss. I'm not going to say like 100%. This isn't SMR 42, okay? But it held just about all of its gloss. Still looks incredible. Still great reflection, great gloss. What everybody else says, okay. Back to what I was saying. So, could you buff out the rest of this bumper, like the old paint, to kind of match the gloss of the new? Yes, if you wanted to do that, you could. As far as the actual blend itself goes, not going to require any buffing, not going to require any wet sanding. It wasn't just a Dumbo walk by like, you know, you see people doing in videos. Oh yeah, looks good. Yeah, looks great. Yeah. No, like, we're getting the camera like literally 1 inch away from the panel. There's the blend right there. You cannot see it. Like, and the thing is, as it dries even more, like, it's going to look even better. I mean, you can't, you cannot see where I started and stopped the clear coat. Again, not trying to say that this looks perfect. I'm pretty happy with the blend. Not trying to say this is a perfect job. It's got, you know, it's got some dirt in it. We didn't wet the floor or nothing. We just kind of just did the prep work, put spray paint on it, put the clear on it, didn't wet the floor. I mean, blew the place out a little bit, but I wasn't like overly concerned. I mean, it's just a corner bumper blend on a 2000 Celica GTS. You know, it's kind of a Dumbo car in my opinion. I mean, I like them, but at the end of the day, it's a Dumbo car. You know, it's got a little bit of dirt in it, you know, but under just normal, regular shop light conditions, you know, I mean, it's a pretty, you know, pretty decent looking car. Pretty decent looking repair. I mean, there's where the damage was. A little bit of, you know, a little bit of orange peel. The primer and the paint did not lay too great over that bare plastic. You know, you guys can see it's got a little bit of orange peel in that area. But, you know, look, standing, you know, we're about 2 feet back, 3 feet back, you know, looks great. You know, boogie boogie. This car, this type of repair, this style repair, this is more than exceptional. You know, typical mobile auto body style repair, looks fine. I do gotta give a huge shout out to Speedokote for even inventing the SMR 1150. That clear coat, man, what an incredible product. Even it's like 51 degrees tonight here in good old Pennsylvania. 51 degrees, and this clear coat had a 5-minute flash. Like, you gotta stay on top of this clear. With the fast activator, you gotta stay on top of this stuff. As you guys saw in the video, yes, as we got closer to the panel, closer to our tape line where the panel was, it was still a tiny bit tacky after 5 minutes. But when you went up to the upper portion where kind of just like the overspray was, it was completely tack free in 5 minutes. Like, wowzers. You know, in 51-degree temps. Yeah, pretty incredible stuff. This whole car, like I said, this whole car was sprayed with SMR 1150. Only 2 coats. Ran out of clear. Could have done 3. But baking out in the sun for a whole year. The car's never been washed, never been buffed. Literally painted it, sat it outside, and off she went. And, you know, this is how it's looking, you know. Awesome products. This is what happens when you put good products on your car. All right, so I'm going to wrap up with this. If you guys are looking for the best, most affordable, user-friendly auto body and detail products in the world, there's one place you need to go, www.speedokote.com. If everything you guys need, start to finish, to get your projects done, base coat, clear coat. If you guys decide you want to be like me on this car, put a little spray paint on your car, put a little, you know, clear coat on top of it, hit them up. They got cheap clear. They got whatever clear you guys want. Sales reps, Marco, type me in your orders. Even if you guys just want to type it in the notes section, type it in. All the proceeds go to the channel so we can continue making cool videos on all the other cars I got laying around. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. New videos are week.